Okay, great. So this is a good question because you will see this definitely, I'm sure, if not in the objective section, in section B or C or whatever, looking at yield and mix variances. So this question is looking at yield. Now, yield is very much about, did what we put in bring out what we expected? Now, I think because here you're given the cost of the inputs, I think let me just explain it so you'll see where we're going. The argument here is I expect to put in 800 whatever kilograms of something, and I expect a loss of 10%, and I expect 720 kilograms to come out. So this is the output of this input, and what we have here, to be fair, are the value costs of the inputs. So that's the principle here. Remember, we're not talking about mix. Mix is a completely different variance. Hopefully we get another question to see that, but here yield is what do we see coming out. So in the same scenario here, it says here you have an input combination here of 250.5 plus 669.5, and this totals 0 0, this totals 920. So we're putting in 920 kilograms, and what came out, we expect to lose 10% of that, and that would have come out at 828 kilograms. This is one way of looking at it. Now the thing is, I notice here that I don't actually have the actual values of my output. It's not valued. What I have are the values of my input, so I could work and should work backwards. It says the output from the batch was 810. So what we have here is I had an output of 810, which means if this was my output, my input should have been, if you like, to get this, my input should have been 810 divided by 0.9, right? Which leaves me with 900. So in effect, if I wanted an output of 810, which is what I got, I should only be putting in 900 kilograms. But I put in 920 kilograms, which means I have put in an excess of, or I have used 20 kilograms too much, which I can cost because I have the costs figures of. Now, remember, the thing is, because I just have this 20 kilograms, what I have to do now is say, well, those are the 20 kilograms, and they would have been in the combination where I go back to the standard, the combination of, if you like, the ratio of 3 to 5, so to speak, because that's the combination of this product, isn't it? So I now go back that it's now at the right combination. So I say that's the combination 3 over 8, 5 over 8. So I literally will say, well, 3 over 8 of those 20 kilograms, I mean, this combination is at £1.30. Remember, you're using different elements here. So you, and then you also have 5 over 8 times 20 kilograms times £2.82. And when you do these together, your answers, 3 over 8, you can do them quickly. 3 divided by 8 times 20 times £1.30 will give you £9.75. And this will give you 35.25, and when you add these two together you will get 45. So we have a 45 adverse picture. So what's the principle here again? I need to get this relationship first. Yield is about what's coming out, what's the output, or by default what should the input have been, and then you can then find that difference and then break it up based on the standard expectation of what should have gone in terms of ratio, in terms of the mix, because that's all you can do, right? You can only best break this up based on the agreed amounts that should have gone in. So you have that. So this next question says, this is all, again, like I say, if you like, what's the next? This is all knowledge which you can please read up again. An extranet pretty much, if you like, is an intranet system that allows people, if you like, from outside to use it. So an intranet is purely internal, but an extranet kind of, well, if it extends outward, allowing people to log in. I'm sure you've seen it as well. If you try logging into your work space from outside, it sort of gives you this extranet sort of box, so to speak. That's the next. So the answer here is B. Incremental budgeting fundamentally is about starting at maybe last year and adding a percentage based on inflation or changes. So we're just starting with a base that we already accept. Typically, if we have a stable business, then we know that there are not too many shocks to the system. So the fact is, there are planned extra units, or we just increase for the extra units in the plan. So this makes this wrong. and review and revise the budget for the next quarter relevant for the remainder of the period. No, whenever you have those type of things happening within quarters, we're really starting to talk about what's referred to as a rolling budget. So typically, incremental budgets happen at the beginning of the year, and they will be for the whole year, and then rolling budgets will happen during the year. So unfortunately, neither of these are correct. Zero-based budgeting, we're trying to kind of prove or get people or managers to tell us exactly why they want the money. So if you like, we're reevaluating each time a budget is formulated. It's not about trying to get everything as close to zero as possible. We're just not. So this doesn't even make any sense. So the answer here is two only. And finally, which describes an expert system. So typically this is, again, we're basically over time and experience, we've put all the information onto a sort of a portal. We have a database. We can go in there. So typically used by everyone. Remember, this kind of decision makers, people even carrying out transaction level and management can use this expert system and this database to kind of see what's going on. Cool, great stuff. That's the next 5 questions.